9 games as a pro, and he has averaged over 31 points in those. You cannot shut him down. You have to match him score for score, and Josh Allen is equipped to do that. Mahomes has the most explosive pass plays in the sport this year. That's not a surprise. Allen is third, right behind him. In fact, the Bills have only 4 fewer explosive plays all season than the Chiefs do. Buffalo actually throws the ball on first down more than Kansas City, more than anyone. And they're number 1 in the sport in success rate on passes. The Chiefs are number 2. Now, the other way to beat Mahomes is to play keep away, and the Bills can do that too. Patrick is 19-1 when Kansas City has the edge in time of possession, so this matters. Buffalo has 27 scoring drives of 10 or more plays this year. That's the most in the league. They're also number 1 in converting third downs and fourth downs, and they're number 2 in success rate on runs. So they're actually on pace to go into the playoffs as both the best passing and rushing team in either conference. So would I advise betting against Patrick Mahomes? Of course not. Probably for the next 15 years. But he isn't going to win them all. People are going to beat him. And this year, the numbers say the likeliest to do it are Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. Those are the numbers. Let's get the reaction. Here's my crew. And Bart Scott, I'm looking right at you first. What do you think? If you were, so RC is applauding. I may have one supporter. Bart Scott, you buying it? And if not, who's got the best shot to knock out the Chiefs?
Well, I'm going to go with the Tennessee Titans returning to the scene of the crime. They have a running back that makes you make business decisions in cold weather. A season's about attrition, and he's getting stronger as everybody else is getting weaker. And when you decide to bring that 8th man in the box, they have Corey Davis and A.J. Brown, who's going to be 2,000-yard receivers, so that they'll be able to put points on the board and wear them down, and also do that 4-minute offense and keep Mahomes and that team on the bench. That way they can run and beat this porous defense of Kansas City, because that's what happens when they struggle. They get the ball ran down their throat.
RC?
You know, Greeny, that was really good. And I thought to myself, you might be right. And then I thought about what Josh Allen looked like when he played Kansas City early on this year. Because, see, you can use all your big words and write this very, very poetic soliloquy. But then you got to remember, they played the game already. And Josh Allen didn't look good. And the Buffalo Bills didn't look explosive. So I'm sticking with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I know they haven't looked like themselves or like they did early on in the year. But I expect this team to make the adjustments, to understand why they lost. Shut up, Bart. Why they lost this week. And you look at this team, now they have James Conner coming back. They also have Marquise Pouncey coming back. And defensively, they understand what they had to do as they're replacing new pieces because of guys getting injured. So I expect the Pittsburgh Steelers to play well this week going forward and be the team that can challenge the Kansas City Chiefs on both sides of the football coming into the playoffs.
Okay, Mark Sanchez,
so if Buffalo
how about you?
beats Pittsburgh, then what do you say?
Well, they play each other Sunday night.
I'm going to say the same thing next week, Bart, especially on Friday.
All right, Sanchez, go.
I'm taking Buffalo. I mean, they won 5 of their last 6. Their last 2 or 3 are by double digits. I think they're a different team. I totally respect what Ryan Clark says about that game early on in the season. He's 100% right. I just think they're a different team. They're much better. Josh Allen is trending in the right direction. I mean, from his rookie year, his improvement is just uncanny. He's gone from like a 66 or 68 rating to a 106 or 108 passer rating. I mean, that kind of improvement's incredible. So he's showing the right trajectory. I think they're on the right track, and they'll be hot when the playoffs start.
Let me make this clear, RC, and let me see if I can sell it to you this way. Do I expect the Bills to beat them? No. But if they play their game, if they play great, what they do is exactly what you need to do to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, whereas the Steelers would probably be thinking...
No backpedaling, Greeny.
Well, no, I'm not. But my point, and this is the point. The Chiefs are going to be the favorite to win the next 15 Super Bowls, but they're not going to.
Yeah.
So what beats them? What the Bills do well is what beats them. What the Steelers do well is not what beats them. What the Steelers want to do is they want to beat you with defense. Nobody is going to shut down Patrick Mahomes. And they're going to throw the ball 53 times. That means a lot of 3-and-outs. That means Patrick is on the field much too much. What the Steelers have been doing is exactly the opposite of what beats Kansas City.
Hey, Greeny, I hear what you're saying, Greeny, and it sounds good. It sounds nice. But you know what? When I played in Pittsburgh, that's how we beat folks. You played defense. It didn't matter how many points they scored the week before you. You knew they weren't going to score that many points that week. And if you watch the game this week, Greeny, they ain't score that dang much against the Denver Broncos. So I'm not going to come on here because the Pittsburgh Steelers lost one game and totally turn on my former franchise. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to sit up here like Bart that says everything great about the Jets, says everything great about the Ravens until the Jets force them into it. That's it. So I don't care what happens, Greeny. I don't care how great your little down barrel is and all that and your Hall of Fame words. I'm not going against Steelers right now.
Go ahead, Bart.
That Nauru collar is choking the air to your brain, man, because you're not thinking straight. I tell you what, it's the Tennessee Titans.
Back up.
What Greeny said. Yeah, I didn't get the memo. And what Greeny said in his description was pretty much describing the Tennessee Titans.
Yes, the Titans have that as well. That is an opportunity, but they're not as explosive offensively. That is the key. You need to be able to match them score for score in a game because you are not going to shut. That's how Brady beat him. In the playoffs a few years ago, Brady beat him by keeping him on the bench the entire first half and then scoring enough points in the second half to beat him.
I'm just saying, man, like when you can run the ball and make people make business decisions late in games, you can't stop for forfeit or 3rd and 1, and then you have the ability to throw the ball over the top with 2 explosive receivers that's going to be over 1,000 yards. What happens is it wins ugly, and you get your points in bunches in the second half. Mark understands that, and you know that Ryan understands that because you beat teams like Kansas City in the 3rd and 4th quarter when they're trying to make that push, and they have to be predictable and one-dimensional.
We shall see. Again, all these teams play big games this weekend, including Pittsburgh and Buffalo, head-to-head Sunday night in Orchard Park. Meanwhile, let's look at some of the other games this weekend. More or less, and Mark, I'm starting with you. Aaron Rodgers, Sanchez. Let's do more or less here. Aaron Rodgers, Sanchez, Aaron Rodgers against the Lions. More or less than 3.5 touchdowns.
Oh, man, I know the love fest is going on, but I'm going to go with exactly 3, so give me less. I know he's still going to be on fire. 3 passing touchdowns is still a great game, but I can't get over these, half touchdowns. That whole thing makes it tough to gamble and tough to answer these questions. I'm out. Let's just go with 3.
Yes, you have stumbled upon the whole key to the Las Vegas success. Bart, next. Derrick Henry against the Jaguars, more or less than 100 yards rushing.
I'll tell you what, in honor of the Tiny Zeus Lesher, who we lost yesterday, this is the new Debo. This is the football Debo, snatching everybody's chains. He snatched nobody's chains more than the Jacksonville Jaguars in the last 4 matchups. Runs of 99, 54 yards, 74 yards. Put some respect on his name, man. Jacksonville has no chance. They're in the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes.
Okay, fair enough. So you go more. And then finally, RC, Russell Wilson against the Jets, more or less than 2.5 touchdowns.
Lightly,
absolutely more. Russell Wilson will rebound this week playing against the New York Jets. The only person that's more excited than Russell Wilson is this week to be facing the team he's facing is Greeny because Taylor Swift is dropping her new album today. He's the only guy that's going to be able to have the smile on his face that Greeny will because he gets to play against the New York Jets. It's Evermore, the New York Jets, Greeny, and Russell Wilson. All the happiest people in the world because of each other.
Correction. It dropped at midnight last night. We had a listening party, my daughter and her friends and I, at midnight last night. Another duet with Bon Iver, which is spectacular. Taylor Swift, again, it dropped last night. It is Evermore. It is the sister album of the previous one, Folklore. I could do this all day. But instead, let me tell you, the NBA preseason starts tonight. And we will have the Kings and the Blazers from the Moda Center in Portland, 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific. That's on ESPN and the ESPN app. Meanwhile, if Bucs fans are a little bummed that the team hasn't been dominant, well, their Hall of Fame quarterback says not to worry. Why Tom Brady is excited for the stretch run. That's on the way. This is Get Up.